Oh, we are once again on the Tiber River in Rome, but this time we're going to the other way, which is going into the Jewish Ghetto on Tibor Island. The word ghetto is an Italian word that was first used in the 1600s in Venice. It comes from the Italian word gettare, which means to cast, because the Jewish people in Italy were known for their copper working skills, but eventually it spread to mean any neighborhood with a single ethnicity. In 1492, Spain banished all Jews who refused to convert, and in the 1500s, the Catholic Church called anything that was not Catholic heresy. In 1555, Pope Paul IV decided all Jews were to be contained in a designated area 7 acres on the bend of the Tiber River, creating the Jewish Ghetto. It was difficult for the Jews in the Jewish Ghetto.
These are the gates where the Jews back in the Pontiff times would have to cross. All Jews had to be back by sundown, and they had to wear yellow scarves so that they could be easily identified.
The ghetto was flanked by Catholic churches like the Santa Maria della Pieta, which tried unsuccessfully to convert Jewish residents. On the church, there is still a sign that misquotes Isaiah 65:2 by reading, "All day long I have stretched out my hands to a disobedient and faithless nation that has lost its way." The largest building in the Jewish ghetto is the Old Synagogue, which today is a museum. The building was uniquely square, which was done deliberately to make sure it looked nothing like any of the Christian churches.
Conquered because now their synagogue is a museum here in Rome. Some more ruins of ancient Rome here, of the old antique Rome, still there. These would have been apartments.
The interior of the ghetto is very layered. You will find the remnants of the ancient Roman city by the Portico de Octavia, which in its day was a cultural center with a musical forum.
150 years before Jesus Christ was born. Amazing structure. This is an old Roman theater that they're trying to restore so they can have music concerts here. According to the stories, when they were trying to restore this area, the lady over here, she didn't want to sell. So here at number 25, she still owns part of the arches because number 25 refused to sell. This outline here used to be a fountain, but before it was a fountain that got moved over to the river, this was actually the gallows for the Romans and for the Catholics, and they would execute Jews here who didn't obey. So that's what this area is marking. There was 2,000 Jewish ghetto citizens that in the 1930s were gathered up and sent to concentration camps by Mussolini, and they never came back, and these stumbling blocks are remembrance to them. Right here is another gate. Again, the gate marks the end of the ghetto. Okay, the Jewish people would have to be behind the gate before sundown. But over here, this fountain is a very important fountain. It was kind of a gift by Bernini, who was a friend to the Jewish people, and he embellished this fountain with turtles. He said that was because the Jewish people held spirituality on their backs like a turtle with lots of knowledge, and so that's why Bernini put the turtles on this fountain. This was a Carmelite school and convent, which caused a serious uproar among the Jewish people because the Catholic Church decided to build a convent right in the middle of the Jewish ghetto. And over here is a Jewish bakery, but unfortunately it's already closed for the day.
In 1986, John Paul II made an official apology on behalf of the Catholic Church. and the Roman Catholic Church pledged money to rebuild the area properly.
Jewish people were poor. This box right here during the Roman times was to help donations to the poor, in other words, poor Jewish people, but today it still accepts donations for the poor. This up here says the year 2020, but this stone is actually from the year 146 because this stone and this lion were done on the Roman scale, and so it was dedicated to the year 2020, which was the Roman calendar, not the Christian calendar, the Gregorian calendar.
Today, the Jewish Ghetto in Rome has become a trendy place full of kosher restaurants known for artichoke dishes, Jewish bakeries, and a plaza where anyone can protest anything they want. I didn't see many Jewish people there. It is kind of being conquered again by rich people, but the fact that the neighborhood still exists is a living lesson in persevering in difficult times.